Hello, entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year that's tied to your 25-year vision and 5 year moonshot. I do it through weekly sprints and 90-day leaps. This is the Pioneers Academy podcast, and I'm on a mission to make a million pioneers. And I thought this podcast channel will help you achieve your 3 year goal and jump to the next level. I'm going to be showing lots of training and lots of great episodes. So join on this podcast and get all the training and resources you need to achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year and make yourself a pioneer. I wrote 13 books, Becoming a Pioneer, and you can get all those 13 books on Amazon. We're going to give away to every listener who listens on this podcast a $100 Amazon gift card so you can get all the books and learn how to become a pioneer.
Hello and welcome to the Pioneers Academy podcast, where we make pioneers out of entrepreneurs. I'm your host, April, and today's episode is going to open doors literally. So, we're diving into one of the most overlooked yet transformative systems in business, the onboarding. So, not just for new hires, but for new customers too. So, help me welcome the man behind this transformative and creative systems, Bimal Shah.
Thank you for having me
How,
here, Bill. And onboarding is a great topic, and it's a very important, essential, but highly overlooked topic when it comes to onboarding customers, onboarding new hires, employees. It's a very important process for the long-term sustainability of the company. Happy to, share some insights on that today.
Thank you, Bimal. And we are all excited because you are the visionary, not just behind the Pioneers book series, but you're also a great coach who helped countless businesses unlock their growth. So we are really excited for this topic. So let's start with something real. So a lot of business owners feel like their team isn't measuring up. But the problem isn't the people. Is it the process that the problem is? How can the leader spot whether
So
performance issues are really rooted in their onboarding systems?
So when it comes to performance, so let's talk about performance in two aspects. One is performance with your employees, which is one of the most important things, that most companies face. They feel like, okay, my employee or, team is not performing well. They could be doing better. Now, here's the thing. When you hired the team or when you hired the people, how was your onboarding process? What were your expectations? What were their expectations? What did they go through? Was there a formal onboarding process, or you just say, hey, this is your desk, get to work? And I've seen in many companies, that's the latter part is what they do. Hey, today's your first day, let's get to work. That's not how it should be. You take a little bit of time on onboarding, whether it's 3 days, 1 week, whatever your onboarding time you need, but it's a formal written process that you should have on what you are training your team, your employees that you're bringing on board, and through this process, you can find out how they're going to perform. And if the proper onboarding sets out the expectations for the results, on a daily basis, how their routine is and what they're supposed to do, you would literally have, no micromanaging to do. You wouldn't have to worry about the results, and, all of that would be reported to you on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So that's where onboarding comes into play. And the second aspect is of onboarding a customer. I've seen that same mistake happen when you're onboarding a new customer. So when you're taking on a new customer, you're very excited. You want to sign the deal, you want to get the check, close the deal, sign the contract, move on, and start the work. Customer doesn't know much besides whatever he has interacted towards the whole process and signing the contract. But if you have a formal onboarding process, when you onboard a customer, as soon as they become a customer, and you walk them through and you say there's a short video you're going to watch, and you're this and that, and you're going to follow what the process looks like, and you educate the customer. Now that you have become a customer, here's how your journey is going to look like, and here's what's going to happen on day 1, day 10, day 30. What can you expect from us? What do we need from you all of these things are essential for a customer onboarding experience. When the customer has been educated on what the journey is, now you have less headaches and less interruptions from the customers. I have seen many businesses where customers are calling for so many things and some simple reasons that can be addressed in an onboarding experience that have reduced 80% or more of their calls that could have been focused more on generating new business rather than just, adhering to customer calls. So this is where onboarding can be an extremely valuable process, and it requires a written documentation both for customers and both for new employees. And this is something that's highly overlooked when I'm training and coaching in companies. I, ask them, do you have an onboarding process? And they're like looking at me, what is onboarding? So that's very important. So it's a really good valuable system to have. And you can access the system. I'm going to put the links in the show notes below: the customer onboarding bit.ly, the customer onboarding, and then there's the ideal onboarding process for new employees as well. So check out those links, and that's what I believe is the most valuable resource that you can have to formally onboard employees and customers.
That makes sense, Bimal. When expectations aren't set early for me, it's no surprise that people fall short, even those talented ones, right? So that system that you were talking about is really essential. That really shapes the outcomes. So thank you for that. Um, Now you've what makes a well-designed onboarding process such a game changer for productivity and profitability?
So one of the things that makes the game changer, this whole onboarding system as a game changer is when you have your onboarding system integrated to your vision. So, you have your 5-year moonshot, your 5-year plan, your 3-year vision, and then you build out, the 1-year blueprint. And in that 1-year blueprint, you nail it down to a T on that specific person you're onboarding. That how is this person going to impact, and make the biggest impact on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, on an annual basis towards this 1-year plan of your company. And when you are clear, and then you can, share that outcome-based job description. And this is also done through the org chart. So when you actually, take your P&L statement and your financials, we actually build your current and future org charts from your P&L statement. So that way you have, your current org chart, your 6 months org chart, your 3-year org chart, and your 5-year org chart. And you can see this is where your company is going to be today. This is where your company is going to be in the future. So if you need this person to perform and give great results, this is what they need to deliver. And this is where I need to train them and make sure. And this is where you also, when you are hiring, it gives you great insight in who you need to hire. And I have some great tools in the show notes, and if you click on the links, my dream employee, that's a process that will actually help you discover do whether or not you have the right people in your team. You can just go through that process and discover that do you have the right person in the right seat giving you the right results for the right time and the right investment that you're making. So that's a great resource. You can just click on that link in the show notes and you can discover. And that's what the ideal onboarding system does. This is what how you can discover whether or not it's a game changer for your company. And it will be, because once you go through this process, you will for sure discover who you need to hire, what you need to train them on, and then what are your expectations on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual basis from each team member.
Absolutely, Vimal. So in short, when people are empowered from day one, they contribute faster and they stick longer to businesses. So that's a win-win for businesses. And I believe with that system that you were discussing right now, for our business owners to really figure out who are those qualified or the right people for their business. So thank you for that. So now let's talk about growth. When a company's ready to scale, how can they pinpoint who the next hire should be? and why?
So this is a very good question. So now you have an onboarding system, you now have an org chart, and you have this things that from the tools and resources that I've shared, and you built this. Now the next step is who should be your next hire. And I can tell you a quick story. There was a company that I was training on, and the owner of the company was all excited about 7 to 12 new hires, and there was this chief operations person who was sitting in the room, and who was working more than a dozen jobs in the company, right down to the lowest level of doing the jobs of people that were not showing up on, and he was getting burned out and stressed out. And then I looked at the owner and said, the number one job that we need to look at is right here in the room. And he's sitting right next to me. And that's the position we need to think about, because he's getting burned out and stressed and, about to leave. So that's that's the insight that you get by doing this. And we discovered that, and I showed him, and I utilized the tool that I'm talking about, the My Dream Employee, and the org chart tool, the ideal org chart. You can go to that link. And then, once we did that and I showed it to him, and he said, like, whoa, this is it was a shocker. It's like, ton of bricks hitting the head at all at once. And this is where, you can get insights that who do you really need to hire in the company? Your next hire, you get the insights by looking at your future and where you are today, and how do you get from point A to point B. And when you're building that journey, that this is going to be the ideal hire who's going to be the game changer. And many a times we're looking to fill in positions, because we feel that this person is not doing a great job. But have you ever discovered or taken the time to find out why they aren't doing the good job? Because maybe they need training on certain aspects. Maybe they don't, know what are your real expectations. Maybe they have a different way of, achieving the same result that you intended to do. But they have a better way and you never gave them an opportunity, or maybe there's something else. So it's important to do that discovery, and we do that. And these are tools that, instead of you spending the time, the tool does all the work. And you can get that tool and get that access, My Dream Employee. That's the system to discover, who should be your next hire. It's a great system, great tool.
Thank you, Bimal. So, for our listeners, please do check on that tool. That's a smart way to think about it. To not just hire to stay busy, but hiring to go further, right? So, Bimal, here's a curveball, and it might be a surprise to our listeners. Um, we all know that you've helped businesses tap into grants and that actually support hiring. How does it work? Does it really support the hiring?
Yeah, 100%. So there are, surprising, and thank you for that curveball. There are grants for new employees. So people don't know that if you're planning to hire and you're planning to scale your company and you're planning to get a lot of new hires, and you have a great projection of how many new hires, and you have a great plan of the company to go from, point A to point B and double, triple the number of employees, there's a substantial amount of grant. It could be as high as 700,000 that you could get, you can use to scale your company to the next level and get these new hires and provide the training that is needed. So there is a grant for new hires that you can use. And I have built a unique system, proprietary system, to get those grants for those new hires. And, all you have to do is click on that link, the grants now link that's in the show notes, and answer a few questions, and you will get a response back as to, how much grant you can get, and, we can take it from there.
That is really something that people should not miss, especially those who are starting with their businesses.
As well. So don't forget to check out
Mm-hmm.
the books. Those are great books that I provided some insights on the grants. So check out those books as well in the Becoming a Pioneer book series.
It really shows how much untapped support is out there. And if you just know where to look and how to ask, you would definitely not going to miss any chances. So thank you so much, Bimal.
For all the listeners, I am buying that gift card for you. So that gift card, so when you click on that link, it's a gift card that you can access, and that gift card will allow you to buy the books on Amazon. So it's $100 Amazon gift card, very valuable, $100 just for tuning in. Ha- who else pays you $100 for listening to a podcast? So you're getting $100 Amazon gift card. Check out those show notes and links, and there's a $100 gift card you can click to get the books on Amazon. And it's a book series called Becoming a Pioneer. It walks you through step by step on how to become a pioneer.
Thank you so much, Bimal. And for our listeners, once again, if you're ready to stop guessing and start scaling, this is your moment. So until next time, keep building, keep growing, and let's keep being pioneering.
Make yourself a pioneer. Hello, pioneers and entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3-year goal in 1 year that is tied to your 25-year vision and 5-year moonshot. I do it through 90-day leaps and weekly sprints and through my own proprietary 4-leap system. I've also written 13 books, the Becoming a Pioneer series. I've founded the Pioneers Academy, the Pioneers platform, and several resources that help you on several different platforms: the Thrive platform, Transform platform, and Transcend platform. So these are resources and tools that I built for you to double your business in a year and scale exponentially and become the only one in your business.